to another I Was Broke, Now I'm Not Monday Money Tip. So excited to be able to serve you today. My name is Joseph Sangle. I'm the founder of I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. And as always, we're trying to accomplish our passion statement, our 15-word passion statement, the 15 words that drive us every single day to help people accomplish far more than they ever thought possible with their personal finances. We're just fired up to be able to serve you and to be able to help you in your money journey. We really believe you can win with your money and accomplish far more than you ever thought possible with it. So today we're going to talk about the concept, the financial concept known as opportunity cost. So as we like to do in these Monday Money Tips, they're not just savings tips, they're money tips. And one of the key principles that they teach in what they call microeconomics is called opportunity cost. And opportunity cost is the next best alternative use of your money. In other words, if you kind of learn this as a kid usually, is that you get some money for a holiday or for a birthday or some special day, you come up across some money and you have this money and you are kind of torn between two different toys that you wanted to buy. You could either buy a Care Bear. Do you remember Care Bears? That was awesome. Care Bear. I did not buy a Care Bear, but little girls, like all of them, I knew they bought those, and Cabbage Patch Kids, right? And then there's Tickle Me Elmos and all these different things. I was more drawn to the G.I. Joe stuff. But there would be like two different G.I. Joe characters, and I only had money enough to buy one. I couldn't buy both. And so my opportunity cost of buying one G.I. Joe was the next best alternative use of my money was to buy another one, or Legos. And by buying one, I blocked myself at that moment from buying the next item. And that's really what opportunity cost is. And what I found is as we get older, the zeros start adding up behind the numbers, and these opportunities, man, you're making much greater decisions. So, for example, if you have money, and let's say you had $10,000, and I know some of you are like, I need $10,000 right now. Listen to these Monday Money Tips, they'll help you get there. But if you had $10,000, what could you use that for? You could use it for a down payment on a house, or you could use it as a down payment on a car. You could use it to put it in savings. Or you could go on one of the biggest shopping sprees ever, or you could go on vacation, right? All these things, let's say the vacation is a trip around all of Europe, it's a month-long trip and it's 10 grand. Well, that's an incredible trip. It'll cost $10,000 though, and it prevents you from being able to put a down payment on a house, and it prevents you from using that money to be able to go on a shopping spree, and it prevents you from being able to put it as a down payment on a new car. That's the opportunity cost of using the money in Europe on a month-long trip. And what I've found is that opportunity cost, always considering the next best alternative use of my money, really challenges me to ask this question: what else could I do with this money? And is the decision I'm making with this money right now, if I have a choice on whether or not I have to spend on it, this money on this thing, then is this the best use of this money right now? And when I can think through the alternative uses of the money and decide that the way I am using it is best, it gives me affirmation that I'm making a wise decision. But sometimes this process of challenging myself of what is the next best alternative use of the money, it helps me think of something that, man, if I use this money on what I thought I was going to use it on, I'm going to totally block myself from accomplishing something far more important. And so opportunity cost has really helped guide me in my financial decision making. It's huge. When I do this, I would really encourage you, like I always do this, I always consider at least two alternative uses of the money. Like the way I want to spend it, and then I force myself to think through two different ways to use the money. I see this happen a lot when people inherit some money, or they got a bonus, or they get a tax refund. They're kind of focused in on this one thing they want to spend the money on. This one thing, I'm going to use it for this, Joe. I'm going to use it for this. And when I challenge them to think of two different other uses of the money, almost always they decide to spend the money another way. Why? Because what I have found is that we tend to veer towards funding things that are urgent, the things that feel like they need to be funded right now. And as a result, we fund the urgent instead of what's most important. Make sure that you fund the most important, not what just someone has tried to make urgent to you, like your children. So make sure you have that conversation with your spouse. Always consider at least two alternative uses of your money. And when I do this, and it's a substantial amount of money, if it's more than $1,000 for sure, I'm going to use the mini budget. It's available at the I Was Broke Now I'm Not website. Just go to iwasbrokenowimnot.com, click on tools and budgeting, and there's a tool there called a mini budget. And you'll see that there's 3 different budgets there. And what I always encourage people to do when they're considering opportunity costs, the next alternative, best alternative use of the money, that you put in the budget number 1, the first way that you think you were going to spend the money. And then force yourself to think of 2 other ways you could use the money. My bet is you'll end up using that money differently than what you previously planned upon. You'll end up using it in a better way. You'll be glad you listened to this Monday Money Tip. As I said before, iwasbrokenowimnot.com, IWBNIN.com stands for iwasbrokenowimnot.com, or you can Google it. Just go to that website. You can click on tools, and then on budgeting, you'll find the mini budget right there. And you can employ this concept of opportunity costs and make sure that you are maximizing every dollar you have. In other words, you would be fulfilling our passion statement, which is to help others accomplish far more than they ever thought possible with their personal finances. This is the Monday Money Tip. I really encourage you to get this to your friends, your family members, your coworkers. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter. You can share it through email, and you can share it in your conversation over a phone conversation or when you're visiting with them next. We want to be able to serve many people and help transform a nation so that we become a nation of plenty, a nation that is winning with their money. It's the MondayMoneyTip.com website where people can register. MondayMoneyTip.com. And it's an honor to serve you. Get fired up.